Okay, you know that feeling? When something absolutely massive just drops in Pokémon GO?
Oh, yeah.
Like a brand new, potentially top-tier Pokémon just appears and, changes everything?
Hmm?
Well, get ready for exactly that feeling right now because there's a huge debut happening this weekend. We are diving deep into Gigantamax Inteleon.
That's right. The Phantom Ruins event is going on, bringing all those cool ghost types and spooky vibes.
Yeah, Gothita, Phantom.
Exactly. But the real headliner crashing the party is Inteleon, the water-type sharpshooter, showing up in its Gigantamax form.
And it's a raid boss.
Not just any raid boss.
Yeah.
A 6-star max battle boss. Seriously tough.
Like 6-star max battle. Wow, okay, that's the highest difficulty for this kind of battle, right?
It is. So, that's our mission today. We're going to cut through all the noise and give you absolutely everything you need. Everything. How to prep, how to battle, how to really maximize what you get out of these intense raids. We're talking dates, times, best counters, team roles.
Free battle strategies.
Oh yeah, strategies for free attempts, managing resources, why this Pokemon is such a big deal. Think of this as your essential G-Max Inteleon weekend guide.
Perfect. Because these max battles, they have their own rules, don't they? They're not like regular raids.
Not at all. Unique mechanics and being prepared. It really makes a world of difference.
Okay, let's dive in. Essentials first. When and where can we actually find this giant G-Max Inteleon?
All right, so Gigantamax Inteleon is strictly this weekend. Saturday, June 14th, and Sunday, June 15th.
Just those 2 days and the times.
The battle window is pretty generous, actually. 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. local time on both Saturday and Sunday.
6 a.m. to 9 p.m., that's a 15-hour window each day. Okay, so it's not like a short community day slot or anything.
No, exactly. And it's important to remember this raid window is within the bigger Phantom Ruins event.
Right, the Phantom Ruins event runs longer from June 14th at 10 a.m. until June 18th at 8 p.m.
Correct. So you've got flexibility with Inteleon, but it also means you'll need to actively find groups.
So checking local meetups, maybe on Campfire or Discord.
Absolutely crucial. Campfire especially for finding people ready to battle this weekend.
Finding groups is key. Got it.
Now, you said it's during the Phantom Ruins event. Does that event help us out at all with these super tough max battles?
Oh, massively. This is where the timing is great. Phantom Ruins brings 2 huge bonuses specifically for max battles.
Oh?
First, your max particle limit gets bumped up. Usually it's 1,000, right?
Yeah.
During this, it's increased to 1,600.
1,600. Nice. And the second bonus?
This one's even bigger. Those power spots, the special energy points on the map during the event, interacting with them gives you 8 times the normal amount of max particle.
Wait, 8 times from power spots. That is, wow.
Huge, right? Hitting those spots is going to be absolutely essential for getting enough particles to do multiple Inteleon battles.
No kidding. Okay, so particles sorted. Let's talk about the battle itself. What is a 6-star max battle? How does it actually work?
So 6-star is the top difficulty tier we have right now. To even get into one, you need 800 max particles. 800. And those are the particles we get from walking and those boosted power spots.
Exactly. Think of them as like the entry ticket for this mode.
Yeah.
And it's 800 particles whether you're there in person or using a remote pass. Same cost.
Got it. 800 particles per attempt. How many people can join one fight?
Up to 40 trainers can be in a single battle instance.
40. Okay, that's a lot.
It is. But the system automatically splits everyone into teams of 4. You'll see your team number, like Team 1, Team 2, etc. You can check who's on your team, even see the other teams in the lobby or during the fight.
40 trainers,
Yeah.
split into these small teams of 4. That sounds different. How should those little teams of 4 tackle it? Do we just, hit it till it faints?
See, this is where strategy becomes so important. The key insight for a successful team of 4 is role balance.
Rolls, like in other games.
Kind of, yeah. Ideally, you want 2 attackers, 1 healer, and 1 shielder or defender in each team of 4.
2 attackers, 1 healer, 1 shielder.
Exactly. And deciding those roles before the max phase kicks in, maybe coordinating in the lobby or through chat, is vital. You really don't want everyone trying to heal at once or everyone shielding, because then nobody's doing the damage needed to win before time runs out.
That makes sense. Balancing offense and support within that small team sounds critical. Okay, what's the actual flow? Battle starts, what happens?
It basically switches between 2 phases, a regular battle phase and the max phase.
Okay.
In the regular phase, the absolute #1 priority is only use your fast moves.
Only fast moves, no charge moves. Why?
Simple reason. Fast moves build the max meter fastest. That meter is shared by your team of 4, and filling it quickly is key to getting into the powerful max phase.
So spam those fast moves. Does the speed of the fast move matter?
It does. Faster moves, like those around half a second attack time, are optimal for building that meter quicker.
Okay, fast moves only, build the meter. What happens when it's full?
That triggers the max phase. Your Pokemon can Dynamax or Gigantamax.
Oh.
And here's a really important distinction. Regular Dynamax Pokemon, their max attacks type depends on their fast moves type.
Right.
But Gigantamax Pokemon, like the Inteleon we're fighting, or maybe when you bring like Gmax Rillaboom, they have a set Gmax move. Its type doesn't change based on the fast move.
Ah, okay. Set move for Gmax, variable for Dmax. Good to know.
So once that meter's full, you hit the button, you go big, and then you coordinate with your team. Attackers use max attack, healers use max spirit, defenders use max guard.
And you want those max moves powered up, right?
Ideally, yeah. Level 3 max moves give the biggest effect, so coordinate, use the right roll move, try to have it level 3.
Build meter fast, coordinate in the max phase.
Got it. Quick question, is this Gigantamax Inteleon shiny? Can we hunt for a shiny one?
Unfortunately, no. The Gmax Inteleon you catch from these raids cannot be shiny.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Manages expectations. What about a perfect one?
Hundo CP.
If you're lucky enough to get a perfect 100 Persarian IV one, its CP will be 1693.
1693. Okay, screenshotting that mentally. No shiny, but a hundo is definitely worth chasing. Let's zoom in on Inteleon itself. What type is it? What hits it hard? What moves should we watch out for?
Okay, Inteleon is a pure water type. Nice and simple.
Pure water, so weaknesses are grass and electric.
That's it. Just grass and electric type attacks are super effective. Keeps our counter choices pretty focused.
Yeah, that helps. What should we absolutely not bring? What does it resist?
It resists steel, fire, water, and ice type attacks. So, definitely steer clear of Pokemon relying mainly on those damage types.
Avoid steel, fire, water, ice. Got it. Stick to grass and electric. What about its own attacks during the raid? What can it hit us with?
During the battle, it'll use 2 different charge moves from its potential move pool.
Okay, what's in the pool?
It can have Surf and Water Pulse, which are both water type,
Makes sense.
and Shadow Ball, which is a ghost type move.
Ooh, Shadow Ball.
You'll-
That ghost typing could be tricky for some counters. How does it actually attack? Is it just random damage?
It has 2 main attack patterns you'll see. One is a big area of effect attack that hits multiple Pokemon on your team. You can't really avoid that one.
Brace for impact on that one.
Right. But the other is a targeted attack aimed at just one Pokemon. And the crucial thing here is you can dodge the targeted attack.
How do you know it's coming?
Look for the visual cue. You'll see like 3 flashing lines above your Pokemon's head. Kind of like Spider Sense, or the Peter Tingle as some call it.
Peter Tingle. Love it.
Right.
Okay, see the lines, swipe to dodge the targeted hit. Makes sense. So, knowing its type, weaknesses, moves, who are the MVPs? The best Pokemon to bring, broken down by those roles: attacker, defender, healer.
All right, let's get into the top counters for each role, keeping those grass and electric weaknesses and that potential Shadow Ball in mind.
Lay it on us. Who are the top attackers?
Attackers are all about dealing damage in the max phase with their max attack, hopefully level 3. Your best bets are Gigantamax Rillaboom.
The grass starter. Okay.
Yeah. Using the fast move Scratch. Also, Gigantamax Toxtricity with Spark. Gigantamax Venusaur with Vine Whip. Dynamax Zapdos with Thundershock. Dynamax Raikou with Volt Switch.
Solid electric types.
And Dynamax Rillaboom. But here's a key difference for Rillaboom.
Okay, you said Scratch for Gmax Rillaboom.
Right, because Gmax Rillaboom has a set Gmax move type, so you just want the fastest fast move, which is Scratch, to build the meter.
Okay.
But for Dynamax Rillaboom, its max attack type depends on the fast move. So you need to use Grass Knot on Dmax Rillaboom. That way, its max move becomes Grass type, hitting Inteleon super effectively. If you use Scratch, its max move would be Normal type, which is helpful here.
That nuance again. Fast move type matters for Dmax attack typing, but not for Gmax. That's super important for picking moves. Okay, who are the best tanks or defenders? The Shielder.
Right, the tanks.
Their job is to build meter in the regular phase while soaking up damage, using their high defense or stamina. Then in the max phase, they use max guard, ideally level 3.
Who fits that bill? Excellent choices here are Dynamax, Blissey with Pound, Crown Form Zamazenta with Metal Claw, though that one's pretty rare.
Yeah, very rare.
Dmax Rillaboom again, using Scratch for that meter speed.
Yeah.
Dynamax Zapdos with Thundershock. Dynamax Urshifu Single Strike using Sucker Punch, another less common one.
Okay. Any more common options?
Definitely. Regular Chansey with Pound is great. Gigantamax Snorlax with Lick. Max Suicune with Extra Sensory. And Gigantamax Lapras with Psywave.
Interesting list. I see Blissey, Chansey, Snorlax, they're normal types. Why are they good tanks against a water type attacker? They don't resist water.
Excellent question. You're right, they don't resist the water moves. But remember, Inteleon might have Shadow Ball.
A ghost move, yeah.
Normal types are immune or highly resistant to ghost-type attacks. So Blissey, Chansey, and Snorlax become incredibly valuable tanks, specifically if Inteleon is using Shadow Ball. They just shrug it off, which helps your team's survivability immensely.
That Shadow Ball resistance is a clever defensive play. Okay, final roll. Healers. Who keeps the team topped up?
Healers use Max Spirit in the max phase, level 3 ideally. These often have high HP. Top picks are Dynamax Blissey again with Pound, Gigantamax Lapras with Psywaves, Gigantamax Snorlax with Lick.
Seeing some overlap with the tanks.
Yeah, some Pokemon are bulky enough to do either role well. Also, Gmax or D-Max Rillaboom with Scratch, or Gmax D-Max Venusaur with Vine Whip can function as healers too.
Fantastic. That gives everyone a really solid shopping list for building their teams based on the role they want to play. And hey, even if your Pokemon faints, you're not totally out, right? You can still help.
Absolutely not out. If your Pokemon faints, you can tap to cheer for your remaining teammates. That cheering actually helps fill the max meter faster.
Oh, cool.
And if your entire team of 4 gets wiped out, you can then cheer for the other teams in the raid lobby. Every bit of meter gain helps the whole group of 40 succeed.
Don't stop tapping. Okay, rolls, counters, battle flow, all covered. Now the big practical question. How many trainers do we actually need to beat the 6-star boss?
That's always the tricky one, isn't it? Based on the analysis, if you have a really solid group, everyone's got top counters, powered up, level 3 max attacks, you might be able to do it with around 10 to 11 trainers, maybe 12. Inteleon hits hard, but it isn't the absolute tankiest Gmax boss we've seen.
Okay, 10, 12-ish with highly optimized expert teams. What about, the average lobby if you jump into a remote raid or meet up with folks you don't know?
Yeah, if you can't be sure everyone's bringing their A game, maybe they have level 20 Pokemon, level 1 max attacks, then you want a much bigger safety margin. Aim for probably 16 or more trainers in that case.
16 plus for a safer bet in mixed groups.
Exactly. And if you're remote raiding with complete strangers, I'd honestly try to get into a lobby with at least 20 other trainers, just because of that uncertainty about everyone's preparation level.
Better safe than sorry. Definitely don't want to waste those 800 protocols. Is there anything like an item to boost damage if you do end up in a smaller group?
There is. Max Mushrooms. Using one doubles your damage output for that battle. They can be pretty expensive or hard to come by, but if you're really trying to push through with a smaller group, they provide a significant boost.
Max Mushrooms, good to keep in mind for tight situations. Okay, 800 particles a pop adds up fast, especially over just 2 days. You mentioned getting free battles earlier. How can we maximize those free attempts without spending coins on passes or particles?
Right, this is where those event bonuses, the 1600 particle cap, and the 8x power spots really come into play. You can definitely score a decent number of free battles. There's a fairly straightforward way to aim for about 6 free battles over the weekend.
6 free battles. Okay, I'm listening. How does that work?
The easiest way is to manage hitting that 1600 particle cap. Try to go into Saturday morning with 1600 particles already stored.
How do you do that if the cap is usually 1,000?
You can build up particles from walking before the event officially starts at 10 a.m. Saturday, then collect from power spots after 10 a.m. when the limit increases and the 8x bonus kicks in. So have 1600 ready Saturday.
Okay, start Saturday with 1,600 particles. Then what?
Use 800 for your first battle. Then go hit a couple of power spots with the 8x bonus. You'll go back to 1600 very quickly. Do 2 more battles. That's 3 battles done on Saturday.
First battle, refill to 1,600, do 2 more. Got it, 3 on Saturday.
Then repeat the process on Sunday. Collect particles from walking and power spots to get back to 1,600. Then do 3 more battles. So 3 Saturday, 3 Sunday. That's your 6 base free battles using this simpler cap-focused method.
Okay, that feels manageable. Start capped, do 3. Start capped again Sunday, do 3 more. Simple enough. Is there any way to squeeze out even more free attempts?
There potentially is. If you can find a community ambassador meetup, check the campfire map for official ones. They often give out special research codes for these kinds of events.
Oh, special research.
Yeah, usually with tasks like win 2 max battles, catch a max Pokemon, stuff like that. Completing that research typically rewards 800 max M particles, enough for 1 extra battle. And you might be able to get this research code on both Saturday and Sunday, maybe from different meetups or if they refresh it. So that could potentially add 2 more free battles, bringing your total up to 8 for the weekend.
Wow, up to 8 free battles just by playing smart and maybe finding a meetup. That's awesome value. Okay, beyond just the particles, powering up all these counters, the Rillabooms, Blissies, Toxtricities takes a ton of candy and Stardust. Any tips for managing those resources?
Oh, absolutely critical.
Yeah.
For candy, one sort of passive trick is to leave Pokemon you need candy for at multiple power spots. They gain a little bit of candy passively over time while defending.
Didn't know that. Passive candy gain. Neat. Now, when you actually have the candy and Stardust to invest, what's the best order? Should I max out the Pokemon's level first or power up its max moves?
There seems to be a pretty clear optimal path based on resource cost scaling. First, obviously fully evolve the Pokemon if it's not already. Then, powered up to around level 30. A really good way to check is the Stardust cost when it hits 5,000 Stardust per power-up. That's level 29. Go 2 more power-ups to hit level 30.
Level 30 is the key break point.
Exactly. The resources needed to go beyond level 30, especially XL Candy, jump up significantly. So after you hit level 30, switch your focus. Put your resources into powering up that Pokemon's max moves, max attack, max guard, max spirit to level 3.
So level 30 max moves to level 3, then push higher levels.
Precisely. Only once those critical max moves are at level 3 should you start sinking the big resources into pushing towards level 40 or even 50 with XLs. It's much more efficient for raid performance.
Level 30 max moves, then levels. That's a fantastic tip for spending resources wisely. What about getting more candy during the event weekend itself?
Standard stuff helps always use Pinap Berries when catching relevant spawns, but also strategic Mega Evolution.
The Mega bonus.
Yep. Mega evolves something that shares a type with what you're catching. For this event, think about water Megas, like Primal Kyogre, Blastoise, Swampert if you see water spawns. Ghost Megas like Gengar or Banette for the Phantom Ruin spawns. Ground Megas like Primal Groudon or Garchomp. Having the right Mega active gives bonus candy and a chance for XL candy.
Match the Mega to the spawn type. Good call. Any other candy tricks?
Distance trading. Trading Pokemon caught over 100 kilometers apart guarantees 1 XL candy. It gives 3 regular candy. Even closer trades give bonus candy too.
Mega evolutions. Trading.
Got it.
Yeah.
What about Stardust? Max battles cost particles, but do they give good Stardust?
Oh, they give amazing Stardust. A single Gmax battle rewards a base of 25,000 Stardust.
25,000 base.
Yep. Pop a star piece, that becomes 37,500. And if you buy the 200 coin double rewards option after the battle,
Don't tell me.
you get a whopping 75,000 Stardust from 1 Gmax battle.
75,000 Stardust. Okay, raiding Inteleon is suddenly looking like a major Stardust grind opportunity too. It absolutely is. If you manage to do several battles, especially with double rewards, you could accumulate a ton of Stardust this weekend.
That's a massive incentive.
Totally. And don't forget the wild spawns during the Phantom Ruins event. Look out for Stardust-boosted Pokemon like Sableye, that's 750 Stardust per catch. And if you find Chameko, that's 1750 Stardust.
Wow.
So use Incense, keep those star pieces running, maybe even consider the paid event ticket if it offers 2x catch Stardust. Stack those bonuses for massive games.
Raids and boosted spawns. Yeah, this is definitely a Stardust Fiesta weekend. Any quick gameplay tips to make things smoother, maybe catch faster?
Yeah, a couple of quality of life things. In the advanced settings, turn on Remember Last Used Pokeball. Saves a tap on every encounter.
Simple, but adds up.
Also, native refresh rate can make the game feel much smoother, especially during battles. Just be aware it can drain your battery a bit faster.
Smoother gameplay is always nice. And for catching more Pokemon faster, for that candy and Stardust grind.
Definitely master the quick catch technique if you haven't already. Saves so much time.
Essential skill.
Having a great buddy gives you catch assist sometimes, which can save a failed throw. And if you have Origin Form Palkia, its adventure effect, Spatial Rend, temporarily increases your interaction radius. Great for pulling in more spawns when you're using Incense or in a dense area.
Quick catching, buddy assist, Palkia's radius boost. Little things that add up to more catches, more resources. Good tips. And just a quick reminder, while Inteleon itself isn't shiny, the Phantom Ruins event does feature boosted shiny odds for Gothita and Phantom, right?
Correct. So keep an eye out for those shinies while you're out hunting Inteleon raids or grinding resources.
Nice side hunt. Any tips for actually catching Inteleon after you beat it?
Yeah, if you find you're struggling to land excellent throws or just want a better catch chance, try using White Kyurem's adventure effect, Ice Burn. It makes the target circle bigger for easier islands and gives a flat 50% boost to your catch rate for a short time.
Ice Burn for an easier catch. Smart. Okay, wow. We've covered the event details, the raid mechanics, the best counters, role strategies, how many trainers you need, how to get free battles, resource management, gameplay tips. That is a ton of prep info.
We tried to cover all the bases.
So let's bring it home. After all this planning, prepping, particle grinding, is Gigantamax Inteleon actually worth all this effort? What's the big payoff here?
Yes, absolutely, unequivocally yes. This is the why. Why bother with this tough raid? Because upon its release, Gigantamax Inteleon is set to become the undisputed #1 water-type attacker in Pokémon GO.
The top water attacker, better than Gmax Kingler, Gmax Blastoise, Primal Kyogre even.
It's projected to significantly outdamage Gmax Kingler and Blastoise in terms of pure DPS. Primal Kyogre is still amazing, of course, but for a non-primal Mega slot, Gmax Inteleon looks like the new king.
Wow, the new #1 water type. That is a massive deal.
It really is. In fact, looking ahead, it's likely going to be the highest damaging Pokemon available, period, until Gigantamax Urshifu Rapid Strike form eventually gets released.
So it'll have the top spot for potentially quite a while.
Exactly. And here's a really practical point. Urshifu requires Cubfu candy, which is notoriously hard to get. Inteleon uses Sobble candy, which is much more accessible for the average player through spawns, eggs, events, etc.
That's a great point. So Inteleon isn't just powerful, it's actually realistically achievable to power up to its full potential for a lot more players compared to something like Urshifu down the line.
Precisely. It's powerful and practical. It's going to be incredibly useful against fire-type raid bosses, ground types, rock types, anything weak to water. Adding a strong Gmax Inteleon to your battle roster is a genuine, significant upgrade. It's well worth engaging with these raids this weekend.
Okay, so the verdict is clear. It's a challenging fight, unique mechanics, needs preparation, but the reward is bringing the new best water attacker onto your team, a powerhouse that's actually attainable to power up. That definitely sounds like a deep dive worth making the effort for.
It truly is. So get those teams prepped using the roles and counters we talked about. Try to coordinate with other trainers if you can, and definitely leverage those free battle strategies and the events resource boosts.
Get out there this weekend, trainers. Find those raid groups on Campfire or Discord, use these tips, and dive into those Gigantamax Inteleon battles. Whether you're tackling it with a small group of friends or a massive community meetup, the challenge and especially the reward of adding this beast to your collection is what it's all about.
Have fun with the event, stay safe, and seriously, best of luck with your Gmax Inteleon raids and catches.
And hey, as you're maybe celebrating catching that hundo or just powering up your awesome new Gigantamax Inteleon, here's something to think about. Knowing it's likely the top water type for a good while and how much damage it puts out, how does getting Gmax Inteleon actually change your personal strategy for future raids? Does it make you rethink which fire or ground bosses you can now comfortably tackle? Is this the moment you decide to really invest those resources into your new aquatic ace?